Ah, we've looked everywhere in all 7 galaxies, Father. From the icy rings of Zorath to the fiery plains of Valta, our search has been exhaustive. The star blossom is just a story, a myth told to children to give them hope. King Alaric paced back and forth, his heavy boots making a thudding sound on the shiny silver floor. His mind raced with thoughts of his ailing granddaughter Anya. His daughters, Princess Lyra and Princess Ilara, were just as worried as he was, their sparkly wings fluttering nervously. They had never seen their father so distressed. Their faces, usually bright and happy, were filled with worry. The weight of their father's concern was heavy on their hearts. Princess Lyra, the older sister, twisted her hands together, her silver eyes reflecting the soft light from the energy crystals in the room. She had always been the more anxious of the two. Alien King. Stories can be true, my dear. We have to believe. Legends often have a kernel of truth hidden within them. Our Anya, she doesn't have much time left. Her condition worsens with each passing day. Ilara, always the calmer of the two, spoke softly. Her voice was a soothing balm to the tension in the room.
The old books talked about a planet, Earth, a place shrouded in mystery and wonder, a place full of life, with plants that don't exist in our galaxy. Perhaps the star blossom is there, waiting to be found.
A tiny bit of hope appeared. Earth, a planet teeming with life and possibilities. Could this be their last chance, the final hope for Anya's survival? The royal family knew they had to act quickly, for time was running out. Their shiny spaceship, the Starfire, zoomed through space, heading towards the distant blue and green planet, Earth, a bright spark of hope in their desperate search. Days and nights flew by as they traveled, the urgency of their mission weighing heavily on their minds. Lyra spent her time studying the old star maps, hoping to find any clue that would lead them to the star blossom. Ilara, always practical, got their medical equipment ready, making sure everything was perfect to give Anya the cure as soon as they found the flower. King Alaric stood at the window, looking out at the vastness of space. Alien King, please let this be the answer. Earth, a planet teeming with life, a vibrant sphere of blue oceans and green land masses floating in the vastness of space. A colourful planet of blue oceans and green land, a beacon of life in the cosmos. As the Starfire entered Earth's atmosphere, it turned invisible to human eyes, cloaked by advanced technology. They landed in a field of wildflowers, their petals shining in the warm sun, a perfect disguise for their arrival. Lyra looked at the old books, ancient texts that held secrets of the universe.
The star blossom. They say it glows a faint silver, a light that can only be seen under the twilight sky. And it smells like nothing else in the universe, a fragrance that lingers in the memory forever.
They searched for hours, feeling more and more hopeless as the minutes ticked by. The sun started to set, turning the sky orange and purple, casting long shadows over the meadow. Just as they were about to give up, Ilara shouted, her voice breaking the silence.
Look over there in the clearing.
In a clearing ahead, lit by the soft glow of the setting sun, stood a person, an unexpected figure in their quest. Not the flower they were looking for, but a man, standing tall and serene. Tall, with hair the colour of the sunset and eyes the colour of the deep blue sea, he seemed almost otherworldly. His expression was mysterious, as if he held the answers to questions they hadn't yet asked. They approached him cautiously, their hearts pounding with a mix of fear and curiosity. He raised his hand in a gesture of peace, his eyes reflecting the fading light of the day. The group stood in front of him, the air thick with tension and anticipation. "I have been waiting for you," he said, his voice calm and steady. "I know why you are here." The group exchanged glances, their surprise evident. This was not the discovery they had expected, but it was peculiar indeed. The man, surprised by the sudden appearance of the two alien princesses, stepped back. He had been lost in his thoughts, watching the sunset when the strangest beings he'd ever seen appeared in front of him. Their skin shimmered, and from their backs grew feathery, rainbow-coloured wings. Lyra and Ilara approached carefully, their initial surprise turning into curiosity. They had never seen a human before. His eyes, the colour of the summer sky, were so deep and captivating.
"Hello, we are looking for a flower, a very important flower."
The man, still confused, managed a reply.
"Hello."
He had never met anyone or anything like them, but their kind eyes made him feel safe. As the days turned into weeks, their search for the star blossom continued, but now they had a friend helping them. The man whose name was Daniel was kind and helpful. He helped them understand the human world, and he knew a lot about plants, which was really useful. Ilara found herself liking Daniel's quiet strength and the way his eyes seemed to hold the whole universe. He in turn was fascinated by her gentle nature and the way she seemed to glow with happiness. They spent their days exploring, sharing stories, and laughing together in the sunshine. Without realizing it, Ilara started to fall in love with Daniel, a love she never thought possible, a love that went beyond planets and galaxies. One evening, as the sun set, Ilara sat by the lake, feeling sad. They had been on Earth for weeks, and they still hadn't found the star blossom. Daniel found her there, her silver eyes reflecting the last light of the day. He sat beside her, his presence comforting.
"Don't give up hope," he said, his voice calming her worries. "We'll find it."
And then he did something that made her heart flutter. He gently took her hand. At that moment, Ilara felt a new kind of warmth, a warmth that wasn't from the setting sun. It was the warmth of love, a love so pure and strong it reached their sick princess back home. Back on the Starfire, something amazing was happening. Anya, who had been lying in bed, weak and close to death, moved. A faint silver light surrounded her, getting brighter and brighter until it filled the room. King Alaric and Lyra, who had been watching over her, were amazed as Anya's face regained its color. Her breathing, once weak and struggling, became steady and strong. "Alien princess." "Father," Anya whispered, her voice still weak but full of wonder. "I felt a warmth, a love so pure it made me better." At that moment they understood. The star blossom wasn't a real flower. It represented a love so strong it could heal even the worst illnesses. Ilara and Daniel felt Anya's recovery through a special connection in their hearts. It was as if their love for her had created an invisible thread, binding them together across the vastness of space. This connection was their solace, their beacon of hope in the darkest of times. They knew that no matter the distance, their hearts would always find a way to communicate, to share the joy and pain of their journey. Ilara knew she had to go home, but the thought of leaving Daniel made her very sad. She stood by the window of the spaceship, her heart heavy with the weight of their impending separation. The stars outside seemed to mirror her sorrow, twinkling faintly as if they, too, understood the pain of parting. She wiped away a tear, knowing that her duty to her family was calling her back, even though her heart longed to stay. As the Starfire got ready to leave, Ilara and Daniel stood face to face, so much left unsaid between them. The hum of the spaceship's engines was a constant reminder that their time together was running out. They looked into each other's eyes, searching for the right words, but none seemed adequate to express the depth of their feelings. The silence between them was filled with unspoken promises and dreams of a future that might never come. He held her face in his hands, his thumbs gently stroking her cheeks. The warmth of his touch was a stark contrast to the cold reality of their situation. He wanted to memorize every detail of her face, to carry the memory of her with him always. His eyes traced the curve of her lips, the sparkle in her eyes, and he wished he could freeze this moment in time.
"Go," he whispered, his voice full of emotion. "Your family needs you, but never forget." His voice cracked, and he struggled to find the words to convey the depth of his feelings. "Never forget that I love you, and I will be here waiting for you, no matter how long it takes." His words were a promise, a vow that their love would endure, no matter the distance or time that separated them. His words trailed off, but his eyes said everything. They were filled with a mixture of love, sorrow, and hope. He wanted her to know that she was not alone, that his heart would always be with her, no matter where she went. The tears in his eyes mirrored her own, and in that moment, they shared a silent understanding that their love was strong enough to withstand any challenge. He would never forget her either. As the spaceship began to lift off, he stood there watching it disappear into the sky. The emptiness he felt was overwhelming, but he held on to the hope that they would be reunited one day. He knew that their love was a force that transcended time and space, and that no matter where she was, a part of her would always be with him.
With one last look, Ilara boarded the Starfire. Her heart ached with the pain of leaving Daniel behind, but she knew that this was not the end of their story. As she walked up the ramp, she turned back one last time, capturing the image of him standing there, a solitary figure against the backdrop of the stars. She carried that image with her, a reminder of the love that awaited her return. As they flew away from Earth, she knew one thing for sure: true love knows no limits. The vastness of space seemed less daunting with the knowledge that their hearts were connected. She watched the Earth grow smaller in the distance, feeling a sense of peace, knowing that their love would guide her back home one day. It goes beyond galaxies, and she carried a piece of Daniel's heart with her always. She held the heart-shaped locket he had given her, a symbol of their unbreakable bond. Inside was a photo of them together, a reminder of the love that would never fade. No matter where her journey took her, she knew that their love was eternal, a guiding light in the vast expanse of the universe. Back on their home planet, life started to feel normal again. Anya was healthy, and her laughter filled the palace. But things were different. The experience had changed them all, showing them how powerful love can be. Ilara focused on her royal duties, but a big part of her remained on Earth with Daniel. She knew in her heart that they would see each other again. Because love like theirs, a love that blossomed across galaxies, could never truly die. It was a love written in the stars, a love that would last forever.